Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Pros. So today I am showing you my 5-star reads for the year so far. Let's get started. So the first book is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It basically goes through a story about how of this woman who is dealing with suicidal thoughts, and she makes an attempt, but she's like in this hallucinatory stage, and she is transported to a library where she every time she opens a book, it's basically the book about her life if she had made one decision different. And so she tries to go through them, all this type of stuff, and it's really a beautiful story, and I highly recommend it. And it's a very fast read. I read this in one day. The next book is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This book is trippy. I personally did not see the plot twist coming. If you saw it, good on you. It starts off basically with a murder, so you know who committed the murder and who was killed and all this stuff. But then the person who committed the murder goes silent and never talks about why she did it, what happened, anything like that. And so she is in a mental institution where she gets put on a case with a psychotherapist, and we now read this book from the psychotherapist point of view, but it's really good, and this is debut book. So the next book is controversial, but November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I absolutely loved this book. I mean, I watch a lot of reviews and I think that people's interpretations of stuff is just very funny to me because that's just not what I got when I was reading it. But I enjoyed November 9 for what it was. I liked their cute little love story. I liked their cute little experiment that they were doing. It's basically about a couple who meets on November 9, and but they're literally, one of them is literally moving across the country, and so they decided that every year on November 9th they would meet up. But shit goes down, so can't always do that. But I enjoyed it. I didn't see the twist coming. It left me very emotional, so I loved it. Next is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I absolutely loved this book. This is probably one of my top Frida McFadden books. I was actually very interested in the story of the characters and everything like that. The plot twist at the end was crazy. The ending of it was not a happy ending. And I'm used to a happy ending, like everything's tied up in a bow. Now this shit ended hella creepy, and you just don't know what's about to happen. Like, you just, pray for that family, pray for that family, pray for that family. Next is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This is another controversial one, another where it could be creepy. Again, I took it for what it was. I liked it because it evoked so much emotion out of me. I also was like, I was also in a point in my life where it was just like failed situationships was triggering. The frustration, the anger, the joy, the everything, all the emotions that evoked out of me, I gave it a 5 stars because it was just like so good. Okay, so the next book is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This book is so realistic, so beautiful. Like, it's about a divorced couple, but they're still drawn to each other. They share a business, they share 2 children. There is a friend group. And so this book is about one of the girls from the friend groups. The second book that just came out is about the second friend, and then I'm assuming there will be a third book. So I absolutely love that, just because it's like I love the girl group vibe of it all. Like, every time they were dealing with their man problems, they would just be like, yo, let's go get brunch. Because what does brunch do, ladies? Solves everything. Get cute, go get some food, get a little drink, a little lemon drop. Tell me that don't make your day better. The last physical book I have is Fourth Wing. This was my longest read of the year so far. I was put on by my book bestie. This was such a great introduction into fantasy. It's a light, easy fantasy. There's not a whole bunch of world building. There's just enough that you know what's happening, like everything makes sense. But it's more into the characters, which is what you really care about, and tea. Tea happens. There's a plot twist at the end. This is heart wrenching. I cried. I was pissed. Ugh. Okay, so the first book for my Kindle Unlimited is The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. I'll just insert a little clip of my reaction to it right here. Shut up! And I'm here like, Yeah, guys, that's a 5 star. Like anything that can evoke that kind of emotion out of me is just that's what I need. The next book is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rakulik. This is a thriller, horror, crime, mystery vibe. Has paranormal activity going on in it. But and also I think the thing I loved about it the most was the drawings that were included in the book because it's basically about a 5-year-old who was drawing very creepy things. He doesn't even really remember drawing them. He says that he has this imaginary friend who tells him to draw these pictures. So the next book is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This is my first sci fi that I've read this year, and it was incredible. I read it because the series just came out, and it was such a good book. What's funny is that on my Fable app, I actually rated it a 4.5, but my point 5 was because I'm nosy and I wanted to know where they ended up. And if you read the book, you'll understand. It was so good, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I'm very excited to watch the series. My most recent 5 star read was The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. This book was so gut wrenching. Guys, like it still makes me emotional. It's also very difficult to read in this current time in our country and our world. I'll leave that right there. But it was just so beautifully written, so gut wrenching. Like this man could not catch a break. Like everything that could go wrong in this man's life went wrong. And I'll just leave you with this quote: "For you, 1,000 times over." So beautiful. I highly, highly, highly recommend. I'm trying to get more classic books under my belt, and I started off with The Kite Runner. It was my aunt's favorite book, and I see why. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. These were my 5 star reads, and I hope you enjoy. Bye, guys.